right there because, like I said, I've always wanted to go to Italy. I always wanted to go to Greece.
Should.
How is Germany for just tourists? How is Germany?
Well, I live a little bit in the bubble. I live in Berlin, so
Mm.
just like New York is not like the rest of the US, Berlin is not like the rest of Germany. And I know New York is not the capital, but I think the comparison is culturally better. So yeah, Berlin is beautiful in the summer, very nice, and people are a little bit grim, but still welcoming, and everybody speaks English usually. So it's quite nice.
So if they speak fluent English like you do, I think I have a great time then. Because I know
Most
when I
people
was
speak
down in the
okay.
Dominican, it was like, what are you saying? I mean, some Spanish I understand, but I was like, nah, they talking too fast for me now.
But don't come in the winter to Berlin. Go to the south of Germany in the winter. You have superb weather, great skiing, great mountains. But in Berlin, it's just dark and gray, like in Hamburg. And in the north, it's very dark and gray in the winter time. So
That sounds like Seattle for us then.
yeah.
That's that's like Pacific Northwest. It stays rainy and cold all winter, I believe. But yeah,
Have you ever been over here to the States?
Yes, I have a lot of relatives in the States. I used to, in the 90s, I actually used to go to New York every year, once a year. And I used to spend the summer holidays working 4 weeks. We have 6 weeks of summer holidays in Germany. And I spent 4 weeks working, and then 2 weeks I would spend going to the States, 1 week in New York, usually with my sister together. And then from there, I would go to Milwaukee to visit family. And I have, they all moved to LA now. So I have a lot of family in LA now.
I
So
love LA.
supposedly my last name is supposed to be German.
Oh,
That's what I was told.
what's your
My
last
last name
name?
is Hoppy. Hoppy, Hoppe.
Oh, okay.
I think
Hopper,
they
yeah.
pronounce it different over.
Yeah, Hopper.
Yeah, I think they pronounce. Yeah, yes.
It is a German
That's what
name.
I was told. I was told my great grandfather was German.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done the lineage and actually went down and did a full family tree um investigation, if you will.
Mhm.
But one day, one day I will. One day I will. So
Midwest has a
but
lot of
yeah,
Germans.
man, do what?
The Midwest has a lot of Germans, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's where my father's family is from the Midwest Chicago area. I do have family in Wisconsin as well, but
They do
they're
great
they're
cheese and
my
great beer there.
yeah. Right, right. But that's originally what side where my father is from the northern Midwest, Chicago, Illinois area. So, like I said, I have to do a little more digging into my family history on that side. So, I've always kind of wanted to find out if that's actually was a German name,
Yeah, yeah,
um, a German last name.
yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, confirmation.
Go ahead and speak some
Well,
German then,
yeah,
right
let's get
quick.
into the. I have no.
Come on,
No,
come
I'm not
on.
gonna. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, come on, man.
I
Come
don't
on,
know
speak
any.
some
I don't know
German.
any. I no, I don't want to insult our guest because I don't know anything. She be looking at me crazy. But yeah, let's get this intro started. We're Retro Talk Forum.
Come on through. Let's talk kicks. Let's talk 80s and 90s nostalgia, man.
All right, all right. We're back on a Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon. We used to go live on Sundays when we first started, but it would be
Mhm.
Sunday evenings. But we're back on a Sunday, back to our roots with a very special guest in the building. It's been a few weeks since we've been live, but we're back with a banger. Got a very special guest in the building. Uh, from pretty far away, pretty far away. I'm Hop 18. I'll let my brother introduce himself if you don't know, and then we're gonna let our special guest let you know who she is. So we'll pass it to my partner over there. Just to let you know, if you point to if on camera, left is right and right is left, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna pass it to my brother Black.
What's going on, people? Is your boy BAA. Enough of that. Let's get into the special guest all the way from Berlin. Why you call it the bubble?
Oh, it's just that we live in a bubble here because Berlin is so different to the rest.
Okay. So go ahead and introduce yourself for the people that don't know you, which they must be living under a rock or something. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I'm Julia. My alter ego is Sneakerqueen, under which some people might know me on Instagram. I've been doing a blog that is called Sneakerqueen, which is the kind of the origin of the name, since 2007. And I'm a freelance photographer, born and raised in Berlin.
Nice. What is the weather like right now?
Terrible.
Real quick.
It's dark, it's cold, it's gray, it's raining. It's been raining the last few days. But not that kind of rain that's like in between. We have really heavy rains, but not that kind, but mostly like just this, like a
misty haze
powder in the air, like a humid, I don't know how you call it in English.
Yeah.
Normally
we have like
here.
we live in the south of the states and we get a lot of humidity. So the air is real thick and unbearable to some, and we do get like a misty rain sometime, but normally we get like a heavy downpour. So
yeah, we had all variations in the last few days.
Right.
Yeah, and both of us work outside, so this summer is probably one of the hottest summers. Yeah, it's probably one of the hottest summers that we've ever had, to be honest with you.
On record. Yeah.
So I have a question for you real quick. I noticed your rings. Yes.
Nice.
That's what I was going to say. Is that inspired by, does that have something to do with hip hop or?
Of course.
Exactly. So what is that scene like over there where you're at, and who are some of your favorites when it comes to music? Just let us know. Give us a little background about. The reason why I asked that, because I noticed you had the Run DMC. I noticed your apparel and your attire, and you have I like your style. I'll just say it like that. I like your style. The sweatshirts. I'm a big hip hop fan myself. It's what I was raised up on. So just wanted to get your opinion. What are some of the groups that you like? Some artists that you like, whether it be now or old school.
So the scene in Berlin is big, like it's worldwide. But when it comes to certain subcultures, I mean, hip hop is not a subculture anymore, but in the 80s and the 90s it was, and there every place is like a village because you know each other and you recognize each other. So I was also heavily influenced by hip hop, mostly because of my older sister. I have a sister who is a year and a half older than me, and was friends with a lot of DJs and graffiti writers and MCs, but German ones. But my first record was Salt and Pepper, the first album. Okay. So I was into hip hop, but all kinds of other stuff as well. And I have a big fable for, typical iconic hip hop pieces. So I do tend to collect a little bit in that area as well. I have a small Casal sunglass collection. I have quite a few of Double Goose jackets. Shout out to Thomas, who is the one who's still keeping that label up and is doing a really, really amazing job with that. Double Goose jackets, Casal sunglasses are part of the attire, I would say. I have a couple of really big boom boxes that I don't know if you want to say collect, but yeah, I'm generally into the hip hop style, and part of that, of course, are also the rings.
Yes.
So the 2-finger ring that I'm wearing right here, I've been having that for probably around 20 years now, and I actually got it made at gold mine in New York. What's the street called again in Brooklyn? Anyway, I got it made in New York a long time ago when the gold prices were still quite good.
Right.
Nice.
So that ring says
that.
Sneakerqueen, right?
Yes. So this one says
nice,
Sneakerqueen. And this one says, whoops, SQ210. No, this way. SQ210, which is Sneakerqueen, and 210, which is my birthday. So in Germany, we write it the other way around. My birthday is 2nd of October. And because in the writing scene, the name Sneakerqueen was actually given to me by the Berlin writing scene. And so in the writing scene, I don't know, in New York, it's the same. A lot of writers used to use their street names, or in this case, I used my birthday, but it was very common to have a short tag with a number next to it. So that's based on that.
Okay.
You said you was born in October? Birthday. I was just going to say that. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, that's dope. Go ahead, Black.
No. I was going to just say, so in hip hop, do you feel like hip hop is different in the States as opposed to the United States? I mean, as opposed to Germany in the different times from the 80s and 90s until now on both sides?
Well, of course, it took some time until that whole subculture hit Europe. The countries which are closest to the States were the countries where it arrived first. So you could see in London and in Amsterdam, those are the cities that are the furthest to the west. Those are the cities where hip hop landed first, and it kind of moved towards the east. So it landed in Germany, of course, as well. And the culture is obviously adapted to the culture that we have in the different countries. So it is not the same, but I would say the spirit is or was the same.
So is it other people like yourself that carries the hip hop, I guess you would say, heritage or culture from the 80s and 90s and still bring it to this genre or this generation of hip hop artists?
Oh, of course, we have a vivid scene here, and we have just like you have old schoolers, we have old school rappers and graffiti writers and so on. So it did take a little bit of time, but hip hop was already present in Germany in the 80s, and in the 90s it was really, really big already. So I wouldn't say that. I mean, we have kind of a parallel development in Europe when it comes to hip hop to the States, just maybe 10 years later.
Maybe so I got a question for you. Well, do you break dance? Do you dance or anything like that?
I mean, I love dancing, but I don't break dance. So I'm not a b-girl. Unfortunately, I really wanted to learn it as a teenager, and I also really wanted to skate, but I was such a tomboy as a teenager, and I'm quite prone to accidents, so my parents didn't allow me a lot of that stuff because they knew I would
probably I think all of us when we were kids would lay that cardboard down and try to break dance, try to backspin,
spin on your head,
all that stuff.
I did actually go to a couple of courses. There's a very famous breakdance crew here in Berlin called Flying Steps, and they have a breakdance academy by now, actually. And I did in the early 90s, I did a course and started doing it, but my parents found out and
they said enough of that.
Enough of
no,
that.
No.
We actually had a guy on our show that was very prevalent in the early days of hip hop when it comes to graffiti, and you would see the paintings on the clothes. His name was Shirt King Fade.
Yeah, of course.
We had him on the show.
Went to his exhibition in Tokyo this February.
Okay.
He had an exhibition in Tokyo, and I went to visit it.
He did that too. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Good peoples. He came on the show. And blessed us with. He showed us his exhibit up there in New York and stuff. So yeah, definitely good people.
Yeah, so these are the
but
kind of
nah,
people that inspired me, you know, people like Shirt King Fade, or I mean, in all different disciplines of hip hop, there are so many people that can inspire you, in not, I mean, men and women.
Right. All right.
true,
Right. Right.
true, dope. So real quick, we do pickups real quick. I got one pickup. Black, I think you got a pickup.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let our guest go first. If there's anything that she has anything you picked up in the last week or two, or your most recent pickup.
So I have to make a confession. I said I'm gonna move house soon, so I've been renovating my new apartment a lot, and I gave myself a eBay ban and a shopping ban for this year. So I wasn't allowed to buy anything. So
Hey, I think we all need that cleanse.
Anything that I bought,
Right.
basically, I had to hide it from myself and not admit to myself that I actually bought it. And I did buy a pair of the Mac Attacks that you talked about in your last show. So I did pick up that as well. And I did want to bring it, but I already packed it. So I only can offer the OG. And I would have liked to show you the OG next to the retro, but I don't have it here. But what I do have here is a very, very special shoe.
Yeah, I'm about to.
And I'm not sure that you saw this one maybe in the States, because this was a release. I think it was mostly Asia. This is a really, really awesome dunk. Here's the box. Can you see the label? Hold on.
Take your time. Take your time.
There's the label.
Oh, okay.
So this is a dunk that was made for the Asian market mostly, but obviously you can see that it was very inspired by.
Oh yeah, definitely inspiration.
The Mac Attack. Especially you see these dots that they cut out of the upper, but quite a lot of things were very inspired by the Mac Attack from this pair, and I really love this pair, so I wanted to show it to you because I'm not sure if these even released in the States. I'm not even sure.
No, I haven't seen them.
In Europe.
I haven't seen them.
No, I never seen those before.
Yeah, so let me get you the pair. So the pair says on the
that's
on
nice
the back,
right there.
All goods. And it's a pair that's made with a lot of thought on detail. The guy who was involved in making this is Wu. He's a really amazing artist from France. He's a very talented artist, and he worked on these shoes. And I think he did a really great job taking inspiration from the Mac Attack on this pair.
Those are very clean, very clean.
Very nice. Very nice. They almost look like, you know, the writing on the back almost looks Terminator-ish.
Yes, so that's another
Terminator.
inspiration. I think also that was a little bit like considered.
So the O's are those like records, like old school records? That's what it looks like from here.
Oh no! But another detail I wanted to show you is, so this is the first. This shoe actually came before the Mac Attack was released. Mm-hmm. But what I love about the shoe is all the little details. So they did actually do the checkerboard tongue label, just with a different logo on it, but like on the original. Mm-hmm. So I really love that detail. And it's a very narrow cut dunk, so it's a very Asian cut dunk for narrow feet.
How do you like the shape on them? How do you like the shape on them?
So I do not love the toe box, I have to admit, but once you have them on feet, they are much flatter, so quite nice.
So is that
okay? And can I see the sole real quick?
Is that suede?
Okay. Go ahead, Black. My bad.
No, I was asking her, was that black portion on top of the toe box? Is that suede or is that just leather?
This is all mesh.
Mesh. Oh, okay.
Like on the original,
okay. Like the Mac Attack.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Like the Mac Attack. Okay.
So it has a leather
cap
main part, and the toe box is mesh.
I got you. Okay.
Nice.
Those are very nice. Yeah.
Never seen.
I never seen that pair before.
I'm gonna go next, Black. I haven't either. I definitely Mac Attack inspired, but they look very nice. How's the quality on them? The leather quality.
The leather is really nice. Not as nice as on the Mac Attack, but you can see really quite nice leather.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because
Mhm.
the Mac Attack has pretty decent leather on it. The Macs are pretty nice, real pretty nice. I only purchased the OG colorway. I don't know if you purchased any other colorways in the Mac Attacks, because I know Social Status had like a couple of Mac Attacks.
So I really wanted the silver lining from social Status. My heart is bleeding because I didn't get my hands on them, and I don't think they were very hyped. But there was a raffle, and they didn't ship to Germany, so I can only buy them somewhere else. And yeah, I was really sad about those. I really wanted the silver lining, but I got the white and the black Mac Attack because I also have the white and the black OGs. So that's a pair I needed to have.
That's understandable. It's only right.
And as you
Only
know,
right.
one of the slogans for my Insta account is vintage versus retro. So I do tend to buy a lot of retros, of which I have the originals.
Gotcha.
I like that.
Well, look,
I like
now
that.
that you know us, if you see anything over here that you want, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Be
We'll
careful.
see what we can do.
Be careful now. Don't extend that olive branch to me now.
We got you. Long as the post office ships over there, and we're good.
We'll say
Okay.
DM's gonna be on fire.
I'll send you that list via email tonight.
Let us know. Mine is pretty simple. It's a shoe that came out yesterday, which I picked up the Cherry 12s. Leather's pretty nice on them. This was kind of like actually my son bought these for me. He works at a little shoe store. They was available, so he said, "Let me get my pops a pair." But very happy to have these in the collection. I had the last retro that came out, and they were starting to separate. Shout out to my son.
Yeah, shout out to your son, man.
Leathers, like I said, leather's real nice on them. Not a bad shoe at all.
Is it a brighter red than the 09s, or?
You know what? I haven't really checked. I think it is maybe a little bit brighter. Because the 09s seemed like the red was darker.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a darker colorway. But yep, that's my little pickup that I got. Oh, and I did pick up this. Since we talk about hip hop, I got me a new toy. I got the MPC one. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to make a few beats here and there. So
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I wanted one of those when I saw it when they first came out. One of my friends had one. I would tinker around with it, kind of fell in love with it. And so I was like, I'm just gonna be patient and wait for the right time. And I was able to get one a few days ago. So I got it sitting right here. I've already been tinkering with it. I made cooked up a couple of things on there, but I'm really looking forward to really getting into that. That's gonna be my next thing. So I've kind of been like chilling out on the shoes too.
On a hip hop tip, hey, if you need beats, man, go holler at DJ Hop.
Not yet.
Get in his DM.
It's coming though. It's coming.
Hey, catch him while he's starting now.
Yeah, I'm gonna start charging for real.
All right, so for my quick pickup, I picked up the Saucony spot built Sonic Time Beams official. It's a boutique out of Japan. What they did was they did 84 sneaker free agent for Michael Jordan. Saucony or Spot Built at the time was the only one that matched Nike's offer. The only reason why he didn't sign with Nike was because the fact that Nike was going to market him more better than Spot Built was. So this is I guess you'll say the What If Chicago version of the Saucony Sonic High. I like this because they actually made it, true to the OG outside of the toe box, of course. But back here on the first retro that they did a few months ago, it's more of a thin leather. But this here is plastic like the OGs. I have the OGs up there, and it's basically the same sneaker. But other than that, this is what I got. You can see instead of spot built being on the bottom is beams, and you can see this spot built Sonic on the toe. It came with white laces and also had black laces attached to it, but I ended up putting the black laces in because I kind of wanted that true original OG Chicago look. So that
May
was
I
the
ask
only.
you? You were gone there for a second. May I ask you? Is this the Beams collab?
Yes.
Have you been to Beams?
No, I haven't been to Beams.
So this is a store in Japan that is I think personally most famous. One certain spot, they have a couple by now, I think, but one certain spot was infamous for the wall that they have when you come in. You walk up a staircase, and around it is cages that are filled with boxes, and it's a lot of Jordans, a lot of Jordan 1 Chicagos. So I think this is maybe a nod to that.
Yeah, nod to it. It also has the flip it over. You can see the beams on the
Nice.
instep. So
Very nice.
yeah, when I saw these pop up on the radar, I was like, yeah, I had to have them. I spot built. I like that name better than Saucony because a lot of people get Saucony and Saucony. They don't know how to pronounce it, so I just like spot built. And it
Nice
takes me
pickup,
back
bro.
to
How's the leather
the,
and all that good stuff on there?
it takes me back to the mid '80s when these came out. Leather, real quick. I mean, the leather's pretty nice on it. It's better than the original release of the blue pair that I got. It's better than that. So I guess when you get a collab, you know, they tend to kind of like put more thought and materials into it. So yeah, that's the only one I got.
Gotcha.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
Nice pickup. Well, I guess let's just go ahead and get into it. We're not gonna hold Miss Queen long. We know it's in the evening time. You're trying to wind down over that way. So you know, recently we saw that you had, you know, a collaborative effort with a few other people with Adidas. And come to find out, doing more research, you already had a collab with them one time before, right?
I did. Also in a team, not in a team effort, but the collab was released in a team. So in 2013, I was part of the Collectors Project, which included New York native operator Ems, DJ operator Ems, and Brooksy from England. And then we had Ralph Tittanen from Sweden, and another DJ from New York. So we were the 4 people that were allowed to realize our favorite silhouette or retro or favorite silhouette in our own way. And I did the rivalry high back then. And this year I released a collaborative effort, like you said, with Adidas, with a team, also an international team, which is Defy New York, Scott from New York, which you probably know. Then Tommy Trigger, who is from the Netherlands and also a big sneakerhead. Ernie, who is called Ernie Punk on Instagram, and he's from a small town called Braunschweig in Germany, and myself. And we were asked to work on a rivalry low and a conductor, put a spin on it, and make a nice, create a nice story around it. Basically, we were asked for our personal input on these models because we have quite a lot of background knowledge on them. And we created, like I said, a rivalry low and a conductor, but each one of us was also allowed to have a family and friends pair, which we were able to create all by ourselves. And the good thing about it, the good and the bad thing about it, is these shoes will never be released because only 30 pairs were produced specifically for our family and friends. But that also had the advantage that we didn't have to go through material testing with those pairs. So we could basically choose all the any materials that we liked, because when a shoe is produced, it has to go through a lot of different departments in a brand, where they decide if this shoe is going to be released or not. Part of that, for example, is the legal department, where quotings or whatever things are tested or checked that there is no legal conflict, and also material testing. So you have shoes where materials are bleeding into each other or are prone to not sustain the stretching that they need for that certain area. So material testing checks all that, and also says no to a lot of details and things, unfortunately, in the end. So these family and friends pairs were luckily not part of that, how do you say, of that testing, and therefore we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. And so we did.
So going off your collaboration with y'all call yourself the Collective, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how did they pick the different people to come together to form that version, or this year's version, I guess you'll say, of the Collective? How did they come about choosing the different people?
So as you know, Adidas has been working on, I mean, apart from the Samba, which was a big campaign this year, but Adidas has been working of relaunching the Rivalry and the Conductor quite in a big way. And they asked different people to get involved in this relaunch. So we weren't the only one that were asked, but we formed a team because we all have a strong passion for 80s silhouettes, and since these shoes are from that time, and they wanted to view, I think, a little bit of an international viewpoint on all that, I think that's how our team got together.
Okay.
I got another question real quick. So from when they told you until the finished product came, how long did that process take? Like when did you find out about this collab? When did they ask you about this collab until the finished product came about?
So I will try to tell you as much as I'm allowed to talk about this. But
okay.
Usually,
let us know if there's something that you can say.
Usually when you get asked to do a collab, it really depends on how much you're allowed to work on it, on how detailed you are allowed to work on it, and that also determines the time that you have for it. But usually the time frame that you get is 3 to 9 months to work on that. And it really depends, because when you do a collab, if I do a collab by myself, then the work is usually a lot faster, because, as you know, if you work in a team, you have to agree on all the things. So some decisions take a little bit longer. And for this collab specifically, we did have the unfortunate situation that Corona got into the middle of this, not in the sense that we started the whole project when Corona was already an issue, but a lot of production problems arose, and delivery was a problem. So the project got pushed into another quarter and another quarter. So actually this was supposed to release last year, but due to certain things that we weren't able to control, it was actually pushed quite far out. So we worked on this altogether around 2 years.
Yeah, I know coronavirus pushed a lot of things back.
Right. So when you say it was like a group effort, so did other people have input on your shoes and you had input on their shoes? Did y'all have to agree on everything?
Not on the family and friends.
But on the retail pair.
Yeah, so we created, I only have the samples here right now. No, I don't have, I have the original. So we created a conductor, and as you see, we try to stay very close to the originals. We try to make an homage to the originals. So also the box is like a vintage Adidas box designed. And we did a lot of details on these shoes. We worked on a lot of details on these shoes. So for example, the Conductor and the Rivalry released as part of the Patrick Ewing pack, the basketball player. And Patrick Ewing had a whole collection. He didn't only have shoes, but also apparel and bags and stuff like that. And on the paper of the shoes, he had the collection printed back in the 80s. So we picked that up and we made the paper of the lining paper. We did a print in the style of the Patrick Ewing shoes, and then we did a lot of details on these pairs that are reminiscing of the time when basketball transitioned from court to concrete. So we did take, for example, this little ticket here that you talked about in your last show. This ticket was actually put as a little bit paperish. This ticket was put on there because we found an old Adidas catalog in which you could see that there were New York Knicks tickets printed in, which were printed in this style. So the idea was that you could take this ticket off. Let me get that sample, I can show you. And underneath the ticket, you would see, on the one side, you would see the collective. And on the other side, you see another hint to Patrick Ewing, who was making these shoes famous. So it says "Unstoppable" underneath on the inside, which is a slogan that was the slogan for advertising his pair back then. And obviously, we were not allowed to use any slogans or things from back there because the copyright has run out on all these things. So we did hide certain messages.
You did subtle hidden messages.
Things like that, yes. Also,
I ain't taking my ticket off, though. I'm leaving my ticket on.
Yeah, so we did details like that, golden lace tips to give a little bit of a nod to all this that you have in hip hop styles, like this flamboyant. Also, we used snakeskin type leather, so special leathers on the shoes. Yeah. So since you already saw this one in the last show, I'm going to show you the Rivalry. So the Rivalry, the Conductor is the court pair because the slogan for this pack was court to concrete. So the Conductor is the court pair, the more technical and the more technically advanced shoe of the two. And the Rivalry, because it is a Rivalry low, we wanted to represent the street style or maybe the courtside swagger that you would find in basketball games. And we used a quite flamboyant leather, if you want to say. So we used the snakeskin leather on those, and it has a very, very soft suede on top of the shoe. We used little, you talked about this already on the last one, we used little things like this subway token style hanger here. We chose that because for us, the subway is actually the most important catwalk in New York. If you don't count Fifth Avenue, but the streets of New York, it was supposed to represent the streets of the New York, and also with the subways, of course, hip hop, which was represented on the subways, and actually made these models iconic pieces. So we wanted to give an homage to all these. That's why we used gold foil printing and things like that. So all these are nods towards the culture in the 80s when hip-hop style was wearing interesting materials and foreign brands and things like that.
So with the tongue, is that suede on the tongue?
Yes, so this is a very very soft suede. It's actually not a real suede.
Let me see it. Let me see that.
It's too light.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
So it's not really actually a real suede. This material is used when usually suede is the inside of the leather, when you flip it over. But this suede is the leather. If you, leather is a skin, and skin has different layers. And if you pull the inside layer off, then the other side of that's this leather.
That's what you got.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So it's a very fine, very very soft leather
Right.
suede, but not super hairy. So it's quite subtle.
That gold Adidas looks real nice with the suede.
So we
I
did
like that.
quite a few samples on these, and actually the samples are usually a little bit more interesting than the
You can show the samples now.
final shoes. Yeah, so I have a sample here. So as you
Oh
can
man,
see,
I
we
can already
also
tell the
wanted to
gold
have
eyelets. Yes.
exactly. So that was bumped by material testing.
Yeah, go the opposite way that you want to go.
Yeah, so that
Got
was
the round
unfortunately.
laces.
And then we had
Round
the
laces
idea
with
of
the
putting in
gold.
rope laces. I mean, all these pairs have multiple laces in them, but we really thought rope laces would be a nice nod to contemporary style, hip hop style. But it was also taken out.
I think that gold eyelet up top, it just hits it. It just gives
different,
it
yeah.
that. Yeah, it makes it pop just a little bit more.
I think so too, and it also gives you more of that feeling of that hip hop style, in my opinion.
Yes,
It would have been nice to
Is
have that.
the tongue on that one still suede? Because that Adidas looks a little the Adidas symbol,
the trefoil.
it looks a little more pronounced. Yeah, it looks a little more pronounced on that one than it does.
Oh, it's a little bit bigger actually.
It's bigger too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And you see that the piping is white, and here it's brown. So that's why it pops a little bit more.
Right. Okay.
That's why the gold pops also a little bit more, because the white piping on the top of the tongue. So this was one as a sample pair, but this was actually the second sample. The first sample of this shoe was originally the conductor.
Oh, wow.
So we started with this. We started with this colorway on the conductor, and as you can see, it doesn't have the final snakeskin on there. It still has a really horrible, cheap snakeskin on. So this was the first idea to make the shoe, and I think this is a super nice model. Really, really beautiful model, in my opinion. But because the conductor was supposed to be the court pair and not the concrete pair, we switched the colors and we took this colorway onto the rivalry. Like that.
So what's the official color of the stripes?
What do you mean? The name of the color of the stripes?
Yes. Is it like like a brown, a dust brown, or like a dusty gold, or
butterscotch, or it doesn't really say.
Can you read it?
Cluster.
What's that? Cluster? Yeah, I never heard that color. Because it's a cloud white. Cluster and cloud white. So I guess the cluster is that's some form of brown or
I would say
brown.
It's kind of clayish. A little bit clay type-ish brown. But
so does that color represent anything? Does the color represent anything?
So for me, the color represents. I don't know if you know the famous picture of Mr. J in the MCM Dapper Dan outfit.
Yes, the puffy jacket.
Gotcha.
And he had the matching hat to go with it too, right?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of sheepskin jackets were worn in the 80s as well. So this is also a little bit of the double goose sheepskin style, you know.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
I'm a sucker for hot tops. When you pull that hot top out, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so originally the rivalry was supposed to have this colorway.
Oh, hold on.
Wait. Is that suede?
So that's the suede that we have on the tongue all over.
Oh, snap. Wow. That is beautiful.
And then you have a snakeskin upper. But like I said, we didn't go for the snakeskin because we thought it looked really cheap and really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so is that a gold? That's not gold plated eyelet, is it?
So this is another option that we tried. I think it looks terrible. But you see, it's not really gold. It's like
it's like a matte gold.
Yeah, it's like glitter plastic. I don't know.
What was
What
that?
we really liked about this one is that we did a really, really big tongue trefoil and we left the seam open on the top. So we quite like that.
Okay.
Those are nice.
Was that the first sample?
This is the first Rivalry sample, and guys, I cannot explain to you how soft this shoe is. I mean, it's incredible.
I can imagine.
Not just the feel, but also the tongue. When you feel it, it's really, really like nice, mendable. How do you say?
Mm-hmm.
So, how many samples do you have to go through until you get the final production pair?
So
or release pair?
For this collection, we did 3 samples per pair. And also the family and friends did approximately 3 samples. I say approximately because there were some in our team who had a very, very finished idea already and found the materials for the idea like that. And the first to the second sample maybe had some slight changes, but from the second to the third and from the third to the final pair was almost no changes at all. So these, I think, skipped once a sample, I'm not sure, but one of those people was Ernie. Ernie was very, very quick with his idea. He knew that he wanted to do, this is Ernie's family and friends shoe.
Man,
this is also a sample. Unfortunately, I already brought the other shoes to the other apartment, the final shoe, but the sample looks like the final shoe. So he wanted to go with the original NYX colorway. And the NYX colorway used to be this burgundy with a dark blue, not bright orange and light blue. NYX is from Knickerbocker, so this used to be the OG colorway. And so since he had very clear idea from the start that he wanted this colorway and only was looking for a nice suede and a good hit of the color, he was pretty quick to have his shoe finished.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those colorways look good together.
Man,
that's a very clean pair.
Yeah, it is.
That just take me back.
And that's his friends and family.
So this is his friends and family pairs. This is why it says Ernie on the front.
Okay.
Iconic logo. That's that's a logo that people don't talk about a lot. That OG Patrick Ewing logo. A lot of people don't talk about that.
We can talk about it. So Patrick Ewing had this logo all on his apparel. And when I made my first rivalry, the first collaboration with Adidas, I wanted to stay as close to the original as I possibly could. So I wanted to do the original Ewing logo, but since because of copyright reasons, I was not allowed to. Let me get that out for you to go on that.
Yeah, we'll probably get into that one, Matt. Appreciate everybody for coming through.
Since I was not allowed to use
the
original logo, I designed my own version of the logo, which was the Sneakerqueen logo.
You got a hop?
Right. Yeah.
So I was actually the first one who redesigned this logo. Now it's put on every shoes from that collection. So most rivalries have this with Adidas on it or something. But I was actually the first one to redesign this logo to kind of be able to pay an homage to Patrick Ewing with this shoe. So this is the first shoe that I did with Adidas. And we can talk about it later, but that's where this idea for this Patrick Ewing redesign came.
So real quick, while we talk about the logo, what makes that one different from the original Patrick Ewing logo? I don't know if you have anything that's OG near you. I want to see the subtle differences.
I would have to get up.
I'm sorry. This is a show and tell type of show. I'm sorry.
I have to dig myself out of the shoes and get you.
I can imagine she got like a sea of shoes around her.
Yeah, she is surrounded by shoes because she showed me real quick when you had stepped away before we got on there. She showed me everything that was around, and I was like, oh yeah, she's like bombarded with shoes all around.
Yeah, she ready.
So the OG Patrick Ewing logo looked like this.
Okay, I see the
And
difference
for the
already.
people that don't know what that is, let them know what that is that you have in your hand.
Oh, that's the OG rivalry low.
Right.
From 1986.
So this logo you see has a little basketball on top of it, and give me a second.
You need like an assistant over there,
You're
right?
good.
Yeah, that would be nice. Why didn't you send someone over?
You know, the plane ride is real long. You know what I'm saying?
So let me see if I can put these next to each other. Like that. So you see, I made a little crown out of the basketball. So, but basically, it's apart from that, it's very much close to the original.
So basically, you just couldn't use the basketball. You had to make something a little bit different.
Well, I wasn't allowed to use Ewing.
You couldn't use his name, period. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying now.
And
right.
because I used my own name and I'm not a basketball player, I put my crown in there. But
nice.
That's how you finesse it.
Ernie is actually a basketball player. He's a sports teacher, actually.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you see, Annie has a basketball.
Nice.
And because I designed this logo already 10 years ago, I didn't have to make any changes to it. But the other guys did also the same. I mean, Tommy also did the same thing on his shoe. I don't know if Tommy is a basketball player, but this is his family and friends shoe. And as you can see, he did it. He also adapted the logo. Sorry?
Is that ostrich leather?
Yes.
Wow. Look at them pimples.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, man.
And he has a very nice material, the same material that we used on the rivalry of the inline pair. He just did it in red. So it's a really nice snakeskin type of material. And he also put a little bit of a white snakeskin in the back. Can you see it? Maybe.
Those are nice.
So do all
nice
of y'all all of y'all have each other's friends and families pair, right?
Yes. Each one of us got one pair of the others in their size.
Nice.
So let me ask you a question. I guess you do have it by you with the sea of sneakers that you got around you. Do you have the 5 New Yorks pair?
Yes, of course I do.
Yes,
right
let's
here.
see that one up close.
So also, this is a sample. I hope he will forgive me that I'm showing the sample, but I think it's nice to see the samples every now and then.
That is nice.
Shout out to Defy New York.
Shout out to the whole
special guest.
Shout out to everybody that's a part of this.
Everybody that collab.
So I think you know where the inspiration came from on this shoe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But also I wanted to point out that not only New Balance was a new inspiration for the shoe, but also the Greyhound. Is it Greyhound the train? No, what's it?
Bus. Greyhound bus.
Greyhound bus.
What's the train called that goes to from outside to the regional train that goes to New York?
Oh,
Amtrak.
Yeah, Amtrak.
Amtrak. Okay.
Well, I think it's inspired by Amtrak also, if I understood it correctly, because of the colors.
Oh, okay. The gray on the blue, because I think that's it. That is Amtrak's colors.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
So another subway or train reference.
Right.
Yes.
Right. The gold stitching sets it off.
So Defy New York actually used the logo on the inside, not on the tongue. Let me see. Yes.
There you go. Nice.
He's got the basketball on his too.
Yes.
I definitely like the way y'all bringing the heritage back to that era. Patrick Ewing, because Patrick Ewing was my favorite player of all time.
Really?
That's why I'm a big New York Knicks fan.
Okay. Nice.
And I started out with the actual Patrick Ewing brand sneakers, the 33 high, the blue suede with the
Mhm.
orange and white accents. That's the one I started out with when I was in high school.
Nice.
And yeah, y'all definitely made some beautiful pieces.
Thank
So
you.
do y'all have apparel with that?
Unfortunately, we did not get apparel. I think it was of first the plan to do apparel as well, but since everything was pushed to the back so much, it didn't really come to that. But you
Okay.
asked me about the 3 samples. So the only 3 samples that I have from are from my family and friends. So I can show you the sample stages if you like.
Okay.
So
Sure.
first of all, this is the final shoe, and it has a little bit of a basketball reference in the back
little
because
pop in
this
the back.
material is like a basketball actually. I don't
I
know
like
if you
that
Okay.
pop.
see
Choice
it,
of colors. I like that.
Yeah.
but it has these pimples like the basketball has on it. This
Okay.
material.
Got you. Like the leather. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then
hold
we
on, real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you.
go ahead.
What does that inside lining look like?
So this is inspired because I'm on the only female on this team. This inside is inspired by all the female influence in hip hop fashion, and there is not too little. And one of the influences that females, in my opinion, did in hip hop is getting more luxury labels into the scene. And so the inside is inspired by a Chanel handbag.
Oh, okay.
So it's quilted satin.
Nice.
And
Wow.
also,
I see what you're doing now. I see what you're doing.
maybe you can see it on the inside, on the tongue. You can.
Oh,
Oh,
come on. You ain't had
wow.
to hit us like that now.
That's the material.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, I'm
And-
jealous.
Beautiful.
Man. I'm jealous.
And we did the suede that you saw on the other shoes. We did on the tongue as well. But the same suede we used for the how do you call it, the toe box. So this is also, but it's debossed, like snakeskin debossed.
I see it.
So it has
Okay.
a little bit of, and then I took a really scaly snakeskin for the
For the 3 stripes. Yeah.
Yes. So this is actually how do you say a second, like my first collaboration was a how do you say, a luxury version of the original Rivalry, Rivalry High Gray. So this has also, as you can see, like a snakeskin type material on it, on the stripes
I see it.
there.
I see it.
So this is kind of part 2 of this whole thing.
Okay. Okay.
So this conductor is supposed to be also a luxury version of the original gray conductor. And I think they look quite nice next to each other, like a collection.
I love them.
Yeah, it does. It almost
love
looks like
them.
a pack.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It
That was
does.
the
Like a
idea
pack.
behind it, because this shoe came exactly 10 years after this. This is 2023 and this is
Okay.
2013.
Wow.
Okay.
Way
So
to play
real quick, real quick on the first one, how did that first collab come about? If you can run through that real quick and just let us know, like what was the how did you get chosen for that? And this is your first collab, right? Because you've had others too, right?
Yes.
Because we had somebody in the chat mention about your Ruse,
Yes.
your Ruse collab also.
I did a collaboration with Kangaroos, and I also did a small collaboration with Eles on the Eles tanker, which is also a very iconic model.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Right. We had King of Trainers on the show too, and he showed. Yeah, he showed his.
Yeah,
also.
his one actually got produced in quite nice numbers, gray and blue, very, very nice pair.
Yes.
And Cali Vegas, we had Cali Vegas was like one of the first ones that we had on the show, and I think he had a collab too. Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to Cali Vegas and King of Trainers.
Yes, shout out to both of them. So for this first pair, I was chosen because they were looking for collectors that are passionate about these models, and I've been very passionate about this model before. But the choices I had on this weren't as many as I had on the second version. So, for example, I was not allowed to do my own paper. I already had that paper idea on this model. So I did it on the insole. You see?
Okay.
I did that print
The purple
paper
looks
like
good. I like that purple.
Well, it was the original was purplish, the original print on the paper.
And I like how you got your name SQ210. I like that.
So by the way, all this and also the paper on the new pack is all hand drawn by me. So it's really meticulous.
Oh, wow.
It's really
good job on that.
Very
You did
nice.
a great
a
job
lot
on
of
that.
work that goes into, or a lot of
Yeah.
thought that goes into these pairs.
Great job.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason why I was chosen, because I was one of the collectors who was always very passionate about this pair, and the rivalry actually has a little bit of a special position in Berlin, because there were very few people who brought shoes from the States to Berlin to sell them here. One of them is Nicholas from Mad Flavor. He had a store, Mad Flavor, here in Berlin, and he used to fly over with together with Hikmet. Actually, Hikmet, you might know, he has his own label, his own brand called Sonra. Hikmet Sugur. He's a very known guy here in Germany, and former owner of Soulbox, if you might remember. So they used to fly to the States, to New York and Philly, and shop shoes there and bring them over to Germany and sell them here. And they actually were the building blocks for Berlin sneaker culture. And one of the models that they brought over was the Rivalry, because the Conductor was a really high-end, very technical model. I mean, they did also bring Conductors over, but the Rivalry was quite inexpensive in comparison to that, and also existed in quite a lot of shoe colors. So you had the Team Stripes colors, and there was a big variation of the Rivalry. So this was one of the models that they brought back and sold here in Berlin, and therefore it had quite a big following here in Berlin. These models, and this is why I have such a love for them, because I saw as a teenager a lot of peers around me wearing them. I wasn't allowed to wear any white sneakers, which is why I have such a fable for white sneakers, because my mom didn't let me wear white, or didn't buy me white sneakers as such a tomboy. So yeah, I love white sneakers, and all the sneakers that or most of the sneakers that I prefer are usually white.
Nice.
How did your mom
Shout
feel
out to
about
those
you and your
guys.
love for sneakers?
I don't know. She tells me
How
she's
did your
proud of
mom
me.
feel about? Because
I think my father has problems grasping the concept behind it.
Right. Because coming up, that was like one of the things I know for me. I wanted the Jordans, and it was like, I'm not paying $100 for no shoes. And it's like, they would say you're wasting your money, you're doing this, you're doing that. But being how big sneakers are now, it's kind of like hip hop. Hip hop was only back then. The term sellout was, if you sold out, that was one of the things that they didn't want you to do. But now hip hop is worldwide, and right, it's mainstream now. Just like shoes. Shoes was kind of like a underground thing.
Totally.
Not a lot of people was into them. Not a lot of people was collecting them, but now they're mainstream. Now it's a money grab.
So don't get me wrong. The first 10 years I was collecting in the 90s. The first 10 years I was collecting, I was hiding it from everybody, even from my family. My family didn't know how many shoes I have, and they didn't know I was collecting. I was hiding everything. In the when you have your wardrobe, you have your hanger with your clothes. So I was hiding all my shoes behind the clothes, behind the hangers. I was stacking the whole family closets. I was stacking behind the clothes. And
hey, I still do that.
Out when I was beginning of 20, when I moved out of my parents' house in my own apartment, and only then they saw how much I already had, because I think I moved out with over 100 pairs. So they were not happy about it, because everybody back then, if you would tell them you have 100 pair of sneakers, everybody would say you have a shopping addiction. So
yeah, or they would say you're crazy, you're wasting your money. That was the main thing. Your parents, would say, you're wasting your money on those shoes, but look at where it got you, the passion that you have. And it's just amazing to see. that something like people would say this was a hobby or whatnot, but it's turned in, it's a lifestyle. It's definitely a lifestyle.
Yeah, for me, it became much more than a hobby, but I still try to keep everything like a passion project when it comes to sneakers. But it has become more or less the second half of my job, because as a photographer, I've always been working with sneaker brands, not only, but I have been working with them. And in the last 10, 15 years, I've spent a big amount of my time working on this, so to say, career, and I really have to say it has become partially my job already.
Right.
Nice. So I got a question for you real quick. It's always that one sneaker that just gravitates us to the whole culture or the heritage. What was that one sneaker that just said, you know what, I'm in this? What's that one sneaker that just grabbed you and you never look back from that point?
Well, for me, it was a couple of steps, but there are 3 shoes that I distinctively remember. So the first pairs of sneakers that I consciously asked my parents or my mom to buy, usually in Germany, when, I don't know, it's probably the same in States, when you get a grade higher, you get a new pair of shoes for your sports because you've grown out of your old ones. So every year you get a new pair of sneakers. And I can remember when I was about 10 or 11, I asked my parents, or my mom used to do that shopping with me. So I asked her for a pair of green, really, really hairy suede Converse 1 stars, which a little bit from the silhouette, like the classic, like back then, for me, it was like a Clyde or something, but I have very narrow feet. So the Clyde was kind of, or suede was kind of uncomfortable for me, because even though nowadays it's cut very round, back in the days, the Clyde and the suede were cut very narrow in the front, which was great because it wouldn't slip off your feet if you wore them loosely or with fat laces or no laces. But if you had wide feet like I had, it wasn't the most comfortable shoe. So I asked them for Converse 1 stars in black, with a black star and a dark green suede. And I loved that pair of shoes. It was that sparked my passion for materials, and especially for suede. I have a very, very, I mean, I think most sneaker collectors love hairy suede. I don't know. It's just such a great material. And then later on, when I was a teenager, I watched my sister. She had a pair of Forum's light blue stripes, baby blue stripes, which was the thing to have in the 90s. Like, girls and guys all were wearing baby blue and pink stuff. So that was really a colorway. And the rivalry was part of that. So gray and white rivalry, or baby blues Forums. But the shoe that actually made me a collector, I would say, that changed the course from actually just buying shoes because I like them to systematically like researching and systematically buying, was Jordan 4 in 99. Because in 99, I remember I was hunting that shoe in a sense, like you didn't have to hunt like you hunt today. It was a totally different matter. But I remember going to my local Foot Locker and putting the shoes on hold for, I think, 3 months. And you know that Foot Locker only puts shoes on hold for like a week. So for 3 months, I went there every week and asked them to put them on hold for another week. And because they saw that I was crazy about it, and back then nobody was that crazy about shoes like that, you know. So they actually kept them for me for 3 months until I could afford them and buy them. So that was really a kind of a change for me, because I was really like not only getting all my money together to spend it on shoes, but also like really fiending over something, you know.
That is dope.
Which four is the black and cements or the white cement? The
white cement.
Which one?
The white one.
Okay.
You know, she like the all white body.
You're right.
And that's funny that you say that, because that was actually the reason why I was so after them, because I was not allowed to have white sneakers. I didn't own any white sneakers. And when I came home with those sneakers, my mom was like, so you really want to wear these? You're gonna take care of these, and you're gonna destroy these? And I was like, no, I'm gonna take care of these. And I think it took me a week before I first put them on, because I just had them on my shelf for a week, just looking at looking at them. But when I wore them, that also brought with it the fact that usually, like, now it's not that bad anymore, but for the first 10 or 15 or 20 years that I collected, I was really, really careful with my shoes. So whenever I wore a pair, when I got home, I would clean them always, like straight away.
Right.
And that was because my mom was so like picking on me that I would never be able to keep them clean.
Did you get the gel cleaner from Foot Locker also? Because that's what I used to be in my bathroom at the bathroom sink, just scrubbing away with the little brush. Yeah, I was the same way. Had to clean them up soon as you took them off.
Yeah.
What made me laugh so much was when you was talking about your mom when you brought the shoes home, and you got into character of your mom, and your eyebrow raised up. I was like, yep, that's how mamas is. They be like, okay, you coming in here with that?
Yeah, so she didn't believe that I would be able
on
to keep it clean.
Right. Mom, you can't tell me how to spend my own money now.
It's my money now. I earned it. So
right.
And she did. She saw me going there every week. I mean, she did. After a couple of weeks, she realized that I'm keeping shoes on hold and that I'm really getting my money together for that. So I had a cleaning job back then. I was cleaning houses as a teenager. So I was really trying to get that money together.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I think back then that was like what my first job. My first check, I took it and put some Jordans on layaway at the Foot Locker. I took my check. I got a job when I was 15, and people thought I was crazy back then because I pretty much took that whole check, and it wasn't quite enough for the shoes. I took that whole check and I went to Foot Locker and put them shoes on layaway. Then the next check, I went back and got them. So yeah, I completely understand. My fault, Black. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm not big on drinking and partying. I'm not big on, to be honest, I'm not even big on clothes and stuff like that. I was never the girl to go shopping or buy a lot of makeup or stuff like that. So I've always rather went climbing fences with the guys and go on adventures with my friends and stuff like that. So for me, the joy that I get out of collecting and getting these shoes, for me, it is a much more lasting joy than going out for a drink, because once I paid for that drink is gone. But once I paid for the shoes, they're going to be with me for the next 30, 40 years, you know?
You can get way more out of those shoes than that drink. That's for damn sure.
Possibly. And, I'm all about community. So my main interest is the socio-cultural background of sneakers and their history. And I'm super interested in networking and connecting, and especially with females, I'm very interested in getting the females to see that there's hidden history that they don't know about, and that females have always been tastemakers, even though they haven't been put in the spotlight. So I'm really trying to cultivate not only female, but in general community when it comes to sneakers. That's the most important part for me. And therefore, I think this is kind of comparable. Like I will sit down and talk about sneakers with people, and other people will go to a bar and talk over a drink. So, each to their own. Everybody has their own way of socializing and getting joy into their life, and mine is over sneakers.
So that leads me to my question. I got two questions. First, so are you saying that the white cement Jordan 4s is your shoe?
Sorry, say that again.
Is that your all-time favorite shoe? The 99 Air Jordan.
Like asking a mother for her favorite child.
Good answer.
There's no
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Okay.
It's like asking
Okay.
a DJ for his favorite record. You know it as well. Some days you're in a mood for something light and stylish, like a runner, and the other day it's outside, it's snowing, and you want a nice boot. You wear a Timberland, or I personally, for example, would put on some Son of Lava Dome. So each mood has a sneaker.
I got you. I got you.
That's true. That's
So
true.
my second question was, you touched on the females. Is it any females that you see out there, I guess, around you locally or throughout the internets that you see that you admire a little bit, or you keep an eye on them?
So I have a lot of females in my Instagram network that I love being connected with, not only because I really enjoy the female approach to collecting, which is a little bit different to male, but also, like, I must admit, there are very few females who share the same sense of style that I do. There's one girl in France which I think has a very similar interest in style like me. Her name is Carol Lutz. She has a very small but beautiful, very, very good collection, amazing pieces. And for me personally, I would say she is the closest to the style that I admire. So I really love her collection because it's very refined and very good. But I mean, there are a lot of female collectors out there that are great. I mean, Super Lala is a really great gal who has a very interesting collection, and it's not my style at all. I'm not into, like, my collection. Anything I'm interested in stops at 92. After 92 is not really interesting for me anymore. And she has a lot of trekking and all condition gear and stuff like that. So hiking shoes and things like that. So I really love how she approaches collecting. So yeah, there's quite a few females out there.
Okay. Real quick, time check. What's the time over there right now?
10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. How long you want to go?
Let's make the half hour full, and then.
All right. So with that being said, as far as the females, you said you was working on something with females, and like almost like a female empowerment type movement. Weren't you saying that earlier?
Well, not directly, like I'm working on something, but I'm always trying to connect with females, and I regularly, for example, on Insta, I regularly post in my stories, like, if there are female vintage collectors out there, please get connected with me, because I think not only I like sharing the spotlight with other people, because it elevates the whole community in such a great way, and I think it's super important to see that I don't know if you really want to talk about sneaker culture, but that the sneaker game and all this sneaker passion has so many interesting sides of it, which I could never represent. So there's so many people out there that deserve more recognition, in my opinion. And females are usually underrepresented in this scene. Therefore, I try to really put a spotlight on females and try to connect with females. And my main interest is in building community, because that is what's interesting for sneaker culture for me. I organize exhibitions quite regularly, and I try to do these usually not in Germany. So I do exhibitions in Asia. I've done a couple of really big exhibitions in Asia, and it's always been a very, very interesting experience, because every country and every culture has their own approach to the subject of collecting, but also to collecting sneakers. Right. I can tell you a little anecdote from my exhibition in Jakarta, for example, if you like.
Please.
So I did an Adidas exhibition in Jakarta, and I also exhibited my rivalry there as part of the collectors project. And in Jakarta or in Indonesia, you know that sneakers are being produced in Indonesia, especially
Right.
Adidas samples are produced in Indonesia. I don't know if still, but in 2016 when I had this, was 16? I think so, yeah. When I had this exhibition anyway, they did still produce in Indonesia. And there was a guy from Adidas Adidas Indonesia, who came to the exhibition and started fiddling on my shoes. And I was like, excuse me, but could you be so kind not to touch the exhibition pieces? And so, yeah,
Look,
where
do
did you
not
get the
touch.
sample from? I was like, well, it's a shoe I produced, so I got sent the sample. Oh, okay, all right. And then he left. And later on, I was talking to the local collectors about this, and they were like, oh yeah, interesting that he actually came, because this is how do you say, an Adidas spotter or hunter to hunt down sample thieves, because in the factory in Indonesia, I love this story, people are getting checked.
Oh wow.
They leave the factory for shoes so they don't take stuff with them. So what they do is there are some collectors who only collect samples, and what they do is they hit up the people from the factory workers, and ask them to meet up in the lunch break at the other side of the wall. So you have two guys standing on each side of the wall, and one is throwing samples over the wall. Guys, and that's why they actually have people from Adidas going around and checking on samples if they are legit, or if they are supposed to be in the hands that they are in.
So
oh wow.
Like that.
I've heard, I don't know how Adidas is, but I've heard a lot of brands, when they do samples or stuff like that, they tend, if they're not going to come out with that sneaker, they destroy that sneaker. But then you got some people get it in their hands, so I'm guessing they get it in their hands just the way you explained it, how one guy's on one side of the wall and the other guy's on the other side of the wall. So is it really hard to get samples like that?
It's like collecting anything. If you spend enough time on it, then you get away. But yeah, of course, samples are harder than general releases, because you cannot buy them, obviously. Plus, I think it's good if you have a sample size, if you collect samples, because all my collection everything is in my size. So I don't have hardly any samples because I don't have sample size.
Right. Sample size is what size? I know a US 9 for us, I believe. Yeah. Okay. You got a question,
Hop? Yeah, real quick. Do you have your other collab with thru? Somebody in the chat was asking about that. Do you have that?
I do, but I need to get up for a second.
Okay, yeah. I think they wanted to look at that. We can show that. We can show that real quick, and then we can close the show. We can close the show.
You're gonna get your exercise on tonight.
Dope show. Man, dope show, man. She's got a dope collection, man.
So
dope
the
collection.
Kangaroos project was also a team effort. I did this shoot together with my friend Kishkash, who is a great DJ from London. And he was kind enough to, actually, he was supposed to do this project with somebody else, but he said, I would really like to have a woman on this project, and I would really like to have Julia on this project. So very, very big up to Kishkash for involving me in this project. And we got inspired by the cherry maple, and as you can see on the box, which I also designed,
Nice.
we went for
Did you hand draw that?
Sorry?
Did you hand draw that? Did you draw that?
No, this is actually photo. But this is the leaves in their different stages in autumn, in the different color stages. So that was the inspiration, the cherry maple leaves that change color during autumn. And the cherry maple is a tree that is actually quite well found in Germany and in UK. So we went for that shoe, for that colorway. And here you can see, like, we try to kind of invent, or not reinvent, but reflect that transition, the color transition of the tree. And I think this is a sample. This is a sample I have in hand. So the final shoe does not look exactly like this. Actually, the final shoe has a yellow tongue on it. But this is a sample. It also has hooks, which doesn't have the final shoe, but it kind of looks like this.
So
Yeah,
did
those
that
are
shoe
nice.
already
The
release?
materials look amazing.
The materials are actually very, very special because it is all a very, very expensive Italian leather that we used on there. And the material is probably the most expensive material I've ever used on a shoe. Very, very exceptionally good material on this.
Has
The
that
leather
has
is
that has that sneaker
incredible.
already released?
Sorry?
Has that sneaker already released?
Yes, last year.
Okay. And it's got your name on the side. I see that.
Yeah, like I said, this is a sample. In the final one, it is on the tongue like this.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are
the
good.
SQ210.
I bet it smells
Wow,
like
so
a leather factory in
the
your house right now.
the sock liner. What material is that sock liner? Is that like a hairy suede,
On the
or is that like
sample, it is a
terry
suede.
cloth?
On the sample, it's a suede, but on the final shoe, we used a material that is a very interesting material, actually. This is the inside that we used on the final shoe, actually. And it's a really interesting material because it's like a very soft, expensive leather, but it's called in German vegetabil, so vegetable.
Wow.
It's not a real leather, actually.
It's vegan leather.
So it's vegan, yeah.
But it's super nice, but only for the inside we use that. Here on the sample, the lining is still suede, but you can see the vegetabil is used on the inside pocket that we all know from kangaroos. And that was on the final shoe also what we used. And actually, we put a little bag of flower seeds in this pocket when we released it.
Go out there, plant you a tree right quick.
Yeah,
so
because
that gold,
we did a nature themed shoe.
Right, that gold eyelet, what does that represent?
So actually, because we did a nature themed shoe, we wanted to do a shoe that is good for going into nature. So we wanted to have a hiking element. That's why I wanted to have this type of eyelet, but
it's like a boot eyelet.
Yes,
so the final shoe has this eyelet.
Okay. Man.
Yeah.
Beautiful shoes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You definitely. People need to reach out to you for more collabs because the thought process that you put into it and like the materials that you selected, all of them look dope to me. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
I have to say, I owe that to my father because my father was a fabric salesman all his life. So I have a knack for nice materials.
Makes sense.
Nice.
It makes sense now.
So did you have custom made clothes when you was a kid and stuff too?
Unfortunately not, but my mom loves to sew, so she did sew a couple of things for me, but usually not much.
Now my grandmother, she was one of those types. Like back in the day when I was a kid, I wanted these shorts. They used to call them jams. They was kind of expensive, and my grandmother would go find a pattern and go get some material and make me some shorts in a minute. I didn't know exactly what I had back then. I wanted I wanted the label, if you will.
Of course, we all did.
Yeah, right. But you know how it was when you was a kid. The kids would clown on you. You got fake this, fake that. But little did I know, I had the best thing. I had custom made clothes. So
you only appreciate it later on, but. On the other hand, I have to say the peer pressure is strong in that age as a teenager. So I can totally understand if children do not want homemade clothes, but label clothes. But there's no quality comparison, of course.
No. So I got a question real quick. If you can talk about it, do you have anything that's coming up that we need to be on the lookout for? If you can talk about it.
So I have something in the works, but I cannot talk about it. But let's say it like this. Okay.
That's why I asked that.
The conductor that I made is a little bit of an homage of 10 years has gone by. I've learned a lot. I've done a lot. So to celebrate the 10 years of my first release, I made the second release. And because I want to celebrate that a little bit longer, I'm working on something else that could be a nice match for this shoe.
Oh my.
Okay. Say less.
Oh my.
Say less.
And it's,
Say
of
less.
course, in the realm of hip-hop fashion.
Hey, count me in.
We'll be looking forward to it. We'll be looking
Count
forward
me
to it.
in.
You got anything else, Black? I know we're not gonna hold it too long. Before we don't go anywhere.
Nah, I don't want to hold it
after,
too long.
because when we end the live, when we end the live, we just gonna talk to you real quick, and then we'll let you be on your way. But yeah,
No,
when we
please, go
close
ahead.
the show, I don't. Yeah,
No,
don't
go
don't
ahead.
go anywhere. But you got anything else, Black?
No,
Because we're definitely gonna have to have
good.
you back. We're gonna definitely have to have you back on for a part 2.
Yeah, you asked me to bring like shoes for showing you shoes. I have this big mount of shoes here still.
Hey,
well, you know what? Go ahead and show them then.
Yeah, go ahead. Go through them. Go through
ahead
them
and
if you
show
want.
them.
We're
Come
on your
on
time.
with it.
I've been talking about a lot of Adidas in the last hour or so. So I wanted to show you some stuff that I picked up in the last 2 years, because this year I didn't buy anything.
Okay.
But one of the holy
Right.
grails that I picked up last year, which I was super happy with, is this vintage pair of Dynasties. So I've been hunting these for a very, very long time. For everybody who's watching who doesn't know anything about these, this is a pair that is made in Japan. So Nike used to produce in Japan. I don't know if everybody knows the history behind it. Nike had a deal with Onitsuka Tiger. This is why the Cortez looks so much like the Mexico. Anyway,
Right.
so there used to be a production site in Japan. And when Blue Ribbon Sports and Onitsuka Tiger parted ways, Nike did keep their contacts to Japanese production sites. And so a lot of pairs were produced in Japan that were not released in anywhere else, only produced and only released in Japan. And the Dynasty, this pair is a made in Japan pair, and I've been looking for it for ages because, like I said, I only have shoes in my size, so getting these in my size was quite difficult. But the condition is
okay. Since you say that, I've seen where some collectors they will go after vintage shoes. If they can't find it in their size, they'll just go ahead and buy it in the size that they see. Are you
No,
like
I want
that?
to wear
Or you
it.
have to have it in your size?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna wear it.
Gotcha. Okay. One more question. If you find a shoe that's not wearable, would you have it restored, or would you if you could find something that you couldn't wear, the sole's crumbling, would you try to find something to sole swap it with, or would you just keep it in that pure form, the aged form?
So usually I don't buy shoes that are crumbling already because they're gonna arrive destroyed. There's no point in shipping anything so that is crumbling already. But when I buy vintage shoes, I do take care that they're one my size, and second that they're not crumbling. But there are running shoes, for example. Let me show you a different example. So there's another shoe that There's another shoe that I've been hunting for a long time. It's also a Japanese shoe. So this is a Sierra Carib, which is a very basic model, but it has a super great, I have a knack for special materials like you saw. And this shoe has a really amazing material because you can see it has like an iridescent kind of swoosh that changes color.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Yeah.
That is very different.
This is also a shoe that was made in Japan and has a special material, but I will not be able to wear it because the sole, the bottom sole,
it's hard. Yeah.
It's so hardened already. I would have to break it. So if I ever have a spare couple of €100, I would probably get them resold. There's some amazing guys in Japan who do resoling, who actually make these midsoles themselves very, very close to the originals, and they will do resoling. So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting these resold to actually wear them. But if I have a shoe that is not wearable and I want to buy it, then I usually buy it for exhibition purposes. Like I said, I do a lot of exhibitions, and I think the shoe doesn't lose, like this pair doesn't lose its charm just because it's not wearable anymore.
Right. Okay. So this leads me into another question, and you can continue to show, whatever you want to show. How do you feel now? It seems like a lot of shoes are coming pre-aged, if you will. How do you feel about that look? Oh,
Like she almost
never
threw up
mind.
in her mouth.
They're doing they're doing like the reimagined theme, if you will. That's the new thing now, the reimagined.
So
Where
there's okay, so there's different ways I feel about it. So I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning of the 2010s, I think, was it 2010s? Maybe maybe even a little bit earlier, like 2008 or 9. Nike started doing this yellowing on the sole. And back then they did it just by painting them yellow. They did the normal model, and then it took some yellow goo and painted around it, and that's how they sold them. So I was a fan of that because you could really easily clean that off, but you get the silhouettes very close to the originals. So I really like that, but only because I was able to clean that off. So there you hear that I'm not a fan of artificial patina. I think each shoe has its own charm of a patina that it gets over time, and there's no need to recreate that. On the other hand, though, I did see in the last couple of years a couple of shoes that were made in this reimagined style that you're talking about. For example, one very good example for that was the Adidas Forum that they relaunched in a sleek way, or not sleek way, but more original shape. And they did a gray striped and a blue striped one. And they weren't really made to look vintage, but they used, for example, for the tongue, the inside, the foam on the inside, they used a yellowish foam, so it kind of little bit translucently looked through the nylon. You had this feeling of, back then you had the same thing. Or they used instead of a bright white, they used an off-white, not a really yellow white that would suggest a vintage yellowing, but a white that doesn't hit so hard. So I really, really liked those because there was a strong, how do you say, the person who made this was very sensitive to the tones that they used on that. So I really like that. And I think that's the deal breaker for me. If I can see that the overall product is made with a sensibility that I understand and that I respect, and not just, oh yeah, let's paint this a little bit yellow and it'll look vintage, So it really, for me, the details make the whole thing. And if the details are cheap or made in a bad way or not thought through or not put any love into it, then I think it shows, and then I'm not a big fan of it.
So what's your thoughts on the Reebok Mason Margiela? What was that? The Twilight Zones they came out with, and the price tag that they came out with last year.
Well, I didn't really have a problem with them because this is a model that is a typical 90s model, and I'm not into those at all anyway. So it really didn't tickle me at all, and it really didn't make me want to buy or hate it or love it because I didn't have much emotion for it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I was just saying, as far as the vintage spin he tried to put on that sneaker, because he made the outsole more of a crumbly look effect.
Oh, you mean that the fact that they made it look artificially patinate?
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan for that about that. I don't think it's necessary to do that. I mean, I have shoes. I have Jordans in my cupboard, in my shoe drawer that are 15 years old and starting to crumble. You don't need to wait long,
Yeah.
So I'm not. Also, like you remember they did that on the Jordan 2 also, right? On the
Virgil did those. Yeah, Virgil did those.
So you saw that put a lot more sensibility in that. They did it in a way that it would look kind of subtle, but for me that was also too much. I understand the art piece that they are creating with that, but for me I've had so many sleepless nights of shoes crumbling under my feet when I'm wearing them. I don't need to recreate that feeling.
I got
Yeah,
you.
and that's also a heavy shoe too. That sneaker's very heavy.
Yeah.
What,
That's another thing
what,
that
what
I
else you
think,
got? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's another thing that
Go
I
ahead, go
think a lot of lifestyle shoes are not thinking about, that in the end, people will wear these shoes the most if they are comfortable. And it makes me sad to see that the industry is producing throwaway products. That's really, I mean, that's how they are handled. Kids nowadays, they buy the shoes, take a picture, and sell it. Isn't it like that?
Yeah, that's basically you said a mouthful right there. You
That
said a
was
mouthful
it.
right
That's
there.
it.
So
That's it.
any other things you want to show us real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
else
can
you
show
got over
you.
there in the stash?
I know what I want to see. Do you still have your oh, you got the Billie Eilish?
No. This is an OG box.
I just said that. I was just picking with you.
That box. No, the box looks so good. It looks like a brand new. Oh wow.
Oh, those are dead stock too.
Yeah, I thought I would bring these out because we were talking about condition. So basically, you can buy vintage shoes
Wow.
in a good condition. The only thing, this shoe is like new. The color, everything is soft. The only thing that is breaking is the tongue a little bit.
It's
But that's
that thin
the only
liner.
thing. Everything is
Yeah.
still really, really soft on these shoes.
And you can still wear that shoe.
Exactly. So you do find vintage that is still very, very wearable. And
look at the hang tag. The hang tag. Cool? Look at the hang tag. Yes, the hang tag. The midsole.
I see that 119 price on there. I see it.
Can we see the? Can we see the back? Can we see the Nike Air on the back?
Oh yeah. Big and bold.
Wow.
That's a big and bold booty right there.
Yeah. And I love big plastic applications on basketball shoes. That's why I think I love the Jordan 4 as well so much, because it has such an interesting material mix on it.
Yes. You have any Jordan 4 is my favorite too. That's my favorite as well.
Oh, okay. So this is a pair of Delta 4s. Luckily, it's not hard to find the name of the shoe because it's printed on the tongue. So
let me guess, that's your size, right?
Of course.
Damn. I was going to send you a shipping label.
When did you buy that shoe? And can I ask, where did you find that on eBay?
So I was about to tell you, this is actually a shoe I bought on Instagram, and the seller is going to be really pissed with me because I don't remember the Instagram handle right now, but I will be happy to post it in the comments if anybody wants to know where I bought this from.
Please let me know.
So yeah, I bought it over an Instagram contact that I have.
Okay.
Man, those are beautiful.
And I bought them 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
See, I'm a sucker for that tongue, that force with that half basketball. I'm a sucker for that. Yeah, that speaks my whole high school era right there.
So I have a big love for this force logo on the tongue as well, and a little bit inspired by that logo is also the basketball part on the back of my shoe, because there are a lot of driving and forces and Air Force 3s and shoes like that, STS forces, who have a black label and then the basketball is orange.
Orange,
and
I love that.
Is the only orange part on the shoe, so it really makes the shoe and the colorway pop. And that was also a little bit of inspiration.
Even though that's the takedown model of the flagship, that's still a beautiful shoe, because I have 2 pair of those high tops in it, and I also have the Air Force STS, which I actually had some guy in, I'm not gonna say some guy, but a guy in Germany make me a sole for that, and I can wear my shoes now. I got the white pair, the white and neutral gray.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For me personally, with black. in the midsole.
Yes, a little black in the midsole.
So for me personally, that is one of the best sneakers ever made. Black and white STS Force and the Air Flight 89. These are two pairs that, for me, in my opinion, are some of the absolute best sneakers ever made.
So when you
STS
say
Force
Flight
mainly
89,
because it has this amazing elephant print
yes,
paneling. So I love that.
yes. So when you say Flight 89, you mean the mids or the highs?
No, high, of course.
Thank you. They need to come out with that. We need.
Do you have a pair of those? Do you have a pair of the highs?
I have a pair here, but I don't want to take it out.
We need to talk to the higher ups to see if we can get that coming out, because that Flight 89
we've been pleading for that shoe. Yes.
Also, I think a super underrated pair is a Solo Flight. I think that's one of the most amazing because it has a very fine, very beautiful toe box, a little bit similar to the very exceptionally shaped toe box of the Nike Air Pressure. The Nike Air Pressure has a shaped toe box that is incomparable. There's no, because it has no seams around it. It only has seams on the side. So to shape that toe box in the shape that it is incredible. So the Solo Flight has a little bit similar, how do you say this? Fineness? How do you say? It's similarly finely shaped like the Nike Air Pressure, in my opinion. It's even finer than the Air Force 3 and the STS Forces. They also have nicely shaped toe boxes, but not quite so fine like the Solo Flight, in my opinion.
And we're talking about the 1989 Solo Flights, right?
Sorry?
What'd you say?
Go ahead, Black. No, I was telling her that pressure is your grill. That pressure is his grill.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I have the OG version. I have the OG and the retro. Yes, that's my
me
grill.
too. I have actually two pairs of the retro because I thought it was one of the best retros that Nike ever did ever
made.
My pair,
I totally agree.
Is sitting right there behind me. Mine is sitting right there behind me. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah.
I didn't care about that price tag or nothing.
Like you said, definitely one of the best retros Nike ever did. And what makes it so much better is that it was so underrated. Nobody thought about it. Nobody realized what an amazing pair of retros that is, with the plastic box and the sleeves and the pump, everything. They really thought of everything. So the person who was responsible for the retro of the Nike Air Pressure, kudos, really, really big up. I mean, that was some very, very good retro work.
I would add to what you're saying. Over here in the States, that shoe was $300 American retail. I think that what scared a lot of people away from that. But you have to go back and think. They went back to the furthest origins of that sneaker that they could. They included, like you said, the clear box that was a one-on-one match. You got the sleeve that goes over that box. Then you have the contents in the box, the Nike hang tag, the actual information booklet. I'm a sucker for when they do booklets with their sneakers back in the day. I'm a sucker for that.
With the explosion foam.
Yes, the explosion foam. And then you got the shoulder strap. It was a wrap for me. I didn't care how much that sneaker cost. I just needed it at that time.
I bought my second pair on eBay for, I think, $80.
Wow.
But how long ago that been?
Didn't know what to do with that. They just
how long ago?
I bought my pair for $180. I bought mine for $180.
I bought my eBay pair a year after the release, I think, or 2 weeks.
Okay. See, because over here is we call them secondhand stores. They were selling them for like $100. And I'm like, I should have jumped on it then, but I didn't think like, okay, I probably got time. They might go down a little bit. You know how we think when you're trying to bargain. Nah, things flew off the shelves, and then people started reselling them or holding them, then reselling them for double what they actually retail for now.
Is that now? Is that the case now?
Yes, that's the case now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't see people reselling these at all. And like I haven't been on the resale market, like looking at anything for a year now.
we're trying to make you go that way, okay? We're trying to make you stick to your guns, you know.
No, I will get back to it as soon as I've moved my apartment, and as soon as my finances are a little bit more in order. I will get back to it. I will get back to my real job.
So I know you got some sneakers around you. I want to know, because one of my questions was about your LS collab. Do you actually have that sneaker around you? Yeah, see, this is when you need your assistant right now.
No, my assistant would have to go in the other room. It's in another room, so I would have to go in the other room and.
Okay,
and
well that's no problem. I mean, I already know how it look. I just kind of want to see it live. That's all.
If you want to wait, I can go and get it. But it will take.
Well, you can
like
just
a
show
I
what
don't want to
you.
hold you up.
Yeah,
we don't want to hold you
because
up like
we
that.
got. Yeah. You got any more shoes right there that you want to show? Because those Delta Forces were definitely a gem.
So talking about shoes that crumble underneath your feet, this is actually a pair that I wore, and while I wore it, it crumbled underneath my feet. This is Nike AirTech Challenge, but it's a special colorway because this is not the most general colorway. And I was wearing these probably 2012 or 13 to a Soul Mart, which is the first sneaker convention that existed. Actually, Hikmet was the one who invented sneaker conventions, so Soul Mart was the first sneaker convention, long before SneakerCon and all these other conventions that exist nowadays. And I was wearing these, and as soon as I walked up the stairs with them, I heard flap, 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 and all the first cracks.
I bet you was like,
that's
so
the story
that's the
behind it.
woman's colorway, right?
It is signed as a men's,
Okay.
so it's just a different colorway, but the sizing is men's.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's the Tech Challenge 2 that I wanted to.
I think
show
Nike
you.
need to dive into the Tech Challenge line. Period. Except just bringing out the Tech Challenge 2s all the time.
Oh yeah, you mean the hot lava, the Tech Challenge number 2?
Yeah, I think they should dive into like the Pro Challenge to go, to kind of bring his whole lineage out, not just always bring out the Tech Challenge 2s in the hot lava colorway.
But the Tech Challenges, that the retro of the pair that I showed you just now, they were horrible. I mean, the shape, I have all the retros of it, but the shape was terrible on them.
Yeah, I got both of them. Now the one that I did like was the European release in 2016, the Tech Challenge 4s. Now I do like that one, and I hate it didn't come in the States because that's a sought after shoe that is you hardly find that shoe, and it took me a while to find it.
I also thought these were kind of warped, in my opinion. I mean, it was nice that they put them back out, but when you wear them, I don't know, maybe it's also more in small sizes because sometimes, depending on the size, if you have a smaller size and it's a very, how do you say, not a fine shoe, then it looks kind of warped in the small size sometimes. But,
right.
Yeah. But I'm a fan of the Tech Challenges. I think they could bring most of them back, and I'm a big fan of the TW trainer as well. So I think.
Yes, yes. No, okay. Which TW trainer?
I think all of them are nice,
All of
but
them. Yeah.
I personally, what I like about the TW a lot is that they have this net on the side, this square net on the side. And I think this is a feature that makes every sneaker really nice. It's also put on the Jordan 4, so a little bit bigger, but it's the same concept.
Yeah, they took inspirations from that Jordan 4 for the one you're talking about, because closer to the toe box, they have like I guess you'd say the wing of the Jordan 4 down on that side of the shoe. So they did take inspirations from the Jordan 4 to make that sneaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's lightweight too.
Yeah. That's true.
Anything else you want to show us?
Well, I still have stuff here, but I think we better wrap it up because I cannot get to it anymore. I put all the boxes on top of each other, so I have to go through the piles.
Well, you're good.
I'm guessing. I'm
You're
guessing
good.
this is when that assistant needs to come in hands so help you clean up, right?
Yeah, well, I'm my own assistant, I guess.
But this has been a very, 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 very dope, and special show for us. Um, I've been following you for a long time and just kind of like admiring your collection from
Thanks so
afar.
much.
And to be honest, you got it. You really, really got it. Like you don't see many female sneaker connoisseurs, whatever you want to call them, that has that factor that you have, because you have some female sneakerheads, they collect only certain things, but you go around the whole rim, and I love that.
Oh,
I
can
love
I
that.
actually one shoe I want to show you when you say that?
I knew it was one. I knew
Everybody
it was
says everybody's only perceives me as an Adidas collector or a vintage collector, but I did have a very strong love for hype. So my favorite, all-time favorite hype shoe that I keep rocking and still wearing it today is the MX
Uh-oh.
Amsterdam. This is
Oh,
one
the
of my
Amsterdams.
all-time
Oh
favorite shoes.
wow.
Not an old school vintage shoe, but nowadays could be considered as vintage maybe already.
Man, look at that
But
air
you
bubble.
see the bubble is already completely how do you say, milky,
Foggy.
but I'm still wearing them. This
Yeah.
is my wearing pair. I'm rocking these. So people, if you wear your shoes,
Materials,
they
yeah,
will last
materials are
longer.
real nice on those. Right. Materials are real nice on those.
Great leather.
Yeah, that
So
blue
yeah, I
just
do
Yes, it
pops in
also
the
is.
have
brown.
like shoes.
That's dope right there. That's dope.
You know what? Everybody has a little inner hype beast in them every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I
For
didn't
me,
think
it's
I
more
did,
about
but I do.
materials. If a hype shoe is really nicely made, I will follow the hype, but not because of the hype, but because I really like it. So
Right.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of
Right.
like how I am. If it's something that I like, and I guess I'm the hype beast I'm the balance when it comes to my co-host, because my co-host, he's a real vintage collector like yourself, and what he said was the truth. You got it. Like you are me and Black, we're yin and yang. I have some old school stuff, but I also kind of I like colorful stuff. I since I've kind of talking to you earlier, since I've kind of gotten into photography, I kind of have expanded my color palette, and I do like colorful shoes a little bit more now. So, like I said, I am the hype beast side of Retro Talk Forum, but not just the buy it. Just like I don't have every off white. I don't think I have any off whites, to be honest with you. But if it's something that I like, I'm gonna get it. That's just how I am. But to reiterate what Black said, you're an amazing guest and
thanks
very,
so much.
very knowledgeable. No, I'm serious. I'm not just saying this. Very knowledgeable. We could sit up here all day and talk.
Definitely.
And you're right. Just
You
just a
hear, I can
conversation.
talk about sneakers forever.
Yeah,
Like, hold on, let me go use the bathroom
really,
real quick.
it's not really just sneakers. It's the music, your style. You're very well rounded, and we got to give you your flowers. You are our first vintage female guest sneaker collector, or
Yes.
I don't even really want to call you a sneaker collector. You're vintage. Just from your style. Like I said, the music, the rings. That's one of the first things I noticed was your rings. You don't see that nowadays. You don't see that nowadays. I saw that coming up in the 90s. The name, like the name rings,
Let's put my grills in.
You got grills too, huh? Oh, you got the chain too?
See what
You
I'm
got the,
saying? You got the Dookie chain?
You remember the Dookie chains that they did with the Superstar?
Mm-hmm.
They released for the 35th anniversary of the Superstar. They released a big Dookie chain for Run DMC homage with a Superstar hanger on,
The
but I have that one.
yeah. Oh man.
But I wish I had a nice gold dookie chain.
Yeah,
That's
he
still
probably
my
should have got one
wish
back in
list.
the 90s because nowadays it's probably
Yes.
it's through the roof. Exactly. So,
Woo-hoo.
but no, we appreciate you coming on. This right
Yes.
here was well worth not going out of our schedule way, but it's something that we had to do to have you on, and this is one of my favorite episodes, to be
Thank
honest
you
with
so
you.
much. Thank you
Definitely.
so much. You
Very,
brought me
very,
mine.
very dope. No, for real, you I'm just kind of like speechless, if you will. But once again, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you for taking the time out. I know you work today, and for you making the time out after work to come on. We really
We really
appreciate it.
appreciate that. Oh
It's
yeah.
been my
Most
Yeah, thank
pleasure.
definitely.
you.
It's been my
Most
absolute
definitely.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. And I feel very honored that you invited me. And I did have a lot of fun. As you know, I can talk about sneakers forever. So I'm always
Hey,
Yeah,
happy.
we definitely will have to. We
I'm
definitely
always
have to
happy
do a
to have
part
listening
2.
ears.
Oh,
most
like
definitely.
I said, we could sit up here all day and talk. So we're gonna end the live. Like I said, don't go nowhere. We're not gonna hold you. We just want to chop it up with you backstage for a quick second. So you got anything else, Black? I'm good. I'm a Hop 18. Want to have a Retro Talk Forum. Appreciate everybody coming through. Shout out to the chat. We really didn't get a chance to shout out the chat, but I know Matt for the Win was in the chat. Chris Neely, Sean Mebin, Dub P was in there. Donna came through. E Money was here. Steph Honey came through. Let me see real quick. Let me see
Those
real
Wow,
Gingham
quick.
so
came
many
through.
people.
Yeah, we had for us to be on a Sunday afternoon. Red came through also. We had a decent crowd. Had a pretty good crowd. So appreciate everybody coming through. Thank you all for the support. And I'm gonna let my boy Black. If you want to shout out your social media and where they can find you at, and where they can find your shoes at, also too. If they want to buy them.
Mine?
Yes, ma'am.
So my Instagram is Sneakerqueen. It's quite easy, just like you say it. And I do write a blog. It's called sneakerqueen.de. If you want to find out a little bit more about social cultural background of sneakers and all my other passions and interests, you can browse there a little bit. Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Okay. Like Hop said earlier, we very, very appreciate you for coming through and spreading your knowledge of just your whole sneaker, hip hop, just everything about you. We appreciate you for coming through and just spreading it to the masses. Um, all I'm gonna say is, like I said, I've always been following you, and he said it. I'm gonna say it again. This is the point where we give people their flowers for the contribution that they gave or giving or giving, however you want to put it, to this whole sneaker heritage culture that we call and we love so much. We see the passion, we see the dedication, we definitely see all the hard work that you've put in with your collabs, your blogs, everything that you got going on. We see the passion and the hard work that you've done. And like I said, we're giving you your flowers. And to be honest, I am speechless myself, because when you pulled out those Delta Forces, I was like, I'm done. I am
Thank you so
done.
much.
So, but I am BAA. This is Retro Talk
Hold
Forum.
on, Black. Where can somebody said they're going to cop that that
Okay.
collab? So where can they find your shoes at?
So as far as I know, at the moment you can only get them on adidas.com or .de. I think they're only on the Adidas German market. But there are quite a few boutiques in Germany that do worldwide shipping. So if you check out Overkill, for example, I'm pretty sure Asphalt Gold has them, Beaston has them in their online store. So yeah, there's quite a few stores in Germany and in Europe that still sell the pair.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
think I got
Unfortunately-
mine from BSTN, I believe.
Unfortunately, my family and friends pair you cannot buy.
Damn.
Sorry.
Damn. Hold on, my bad. We need that drop. Damn, damn, damn. We need that drop.
I do wish actually these would have been for sale, because for me, of course, it's more fun to share with the more people, the better.
Right.
So I would
right.
have liked to see these in stores actually.
Man. With that being said, I am BAA. That's Hop Dog 18 or Hop 18. I'm sorry. She's Sneaker Queen. We're Retro Talk Forum. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you
Peace.
so much for having me. Have a nice
Thank you.
evening.
Don't go nowhere.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
go nowhere. We're Retro Talk Forum. I'm Hot Dog 18. You can find me on IG, and I'm gonna pass it over to my brother. This way.
What's good, people? It's your boy Black Ass African, aka BAA, aka